What's up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This podcast episode is brought to you by IBOW Training. As you know, we talk about training pretty frequently here on the show, and the IBOW has some amazing people that they work with in their network. Are you a designer, rapper, sign maker, or beyond? If you want to invest in your creativity for the future, IBOW Training is the right choice. IBOW is the nation's first training organization to offer training in all aspects of the rap industry, from quoting, design, printing, production, and installation. They offer a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design and print profile training through remote login. With trainers nationwide, IBOW offers support day and night by phone, and many of their trainers are within a day's reach for emergencies. IBOW is growing and will continue to support the industry in a positive manner. For more information, please visit ibowtraining.com. We are also brought to you by We Print Wraps. We Print Wraps is the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps. How easy is it to order wraps? Well, all you have to do is sell the job. Go to weprinwraps.com, choose your desired film for the installation, upload your design, and if you're not a designer, no problem. They can design one for you and get your wraps delivered right to your door. They offer free nationwide shipping all across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And for exclusive listeners of the All Wrapped Up podcast, you can get 5% promo code when you type in the word All Wrapped Up at checkout to save on your next order today. Less risk, no overhead, wholesale printing. See why the industry pros love them. To get more information, visit weprinwraps.com. Our next guest got into the industry back in 2010 when his friend decided to open up a sign shop. He's learned by fire and has built the skills to be a real key player in the industry. He's now settled in at a company called Radioactive, but works hard after work and on weekends for himself to eventually go out on his own. Please give it up for the great and powerful Mike Catrett. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading rap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. All right, Mike, what's going on, brother?
Not a lot, buddy. Just another day in paradise.
Yeah, just another Tuesday, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Tuesdays are usually better than Mondays, I'll tell you that.
Oh, by far. I agree with you completely.
Oh my God. What you got cooking over at the shop this week?
Just a lot of designs, we work on a lot of municipality stuff. So it's, police car after police car, fire trucks. So it's a lot of back and forth emailing with whoever's involved at the time. So
nice. You guys use a lot of reflective then, I assume?
We do. Right now I'm using a fair amount of the Oracle. I think it's like the 5650 RA or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
Man, it's
a good product.
Yeah, I like it. I've played around with the 3M a good bit. Some Avery, but not a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of white reflective printed on and laminated and applied. So
yeah, it's a different technique to install the Aurafold over like the 3M. 3M's a little bit more forgiving. Aurafold's kind of like once it tacks, it's 50-50 on peeling it back up to replace it or move it over or whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. It can be a gamble sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of, like ambulances over at our shop. So we deal with a lot of like the stripes and the, chevron, designs for the back doors. And, boy, if you don't get those stripes on straight and you got to pick it back up, ooh.
Oh man.
I cringe,
yeah. Yes, every time.
Turning white or getting that weird line when it reflects. Oh, it's annoying, but I guess that's kind of like the name of the game when you're using reflective,
Yeah, absolutely every time.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of the designing as well as installing?
I do. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a one-man show. I do the sales, manage, order all my supplies, design, apply, remove, every position you can hold in a sign shop. That's myself. So
Wearing all the hats. That must be fun.
it can be, and it really can be.
Says nobody.
Right. It's like, who do I blame if something happens? Oh, that's me.
Yeah, you can only, yell at yourself over it. It's, it's a lot of awkward conversations to yourself.
Yes, very.
I'm sure you find yourself talking to yourself once in a while, unless you got music blaring in the background pretty often.
Right. Yeah. It just gets scary when I start answering myself. So I have to watch it.
It's like, Mike, get the phone. It's ringing.
Right.
Can you stop doing what you're doing? Jesus. You know what I always found to be the worst thing being a one-man show? And you tell me if you've gone into scenarios, this is kind of getting weird, but it's timing of going to the bathroom,
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
It can be the worst.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I want to take 10 minutes to myself, you know what I mean? And lock the door. And literally, it's like nobody's around when you're busy, but yet when you want to take 10 minutes to go to the bathroom, all of a sudden your phone rings. Hey, I'm at the door. You guys open today? Or you hear the knocking or someone trying to pull the handle. And you're like, dude, really? Like, I literally just sat down. Like,
Right.
Come on. And then you're rushing. You're like, oh, this is going to be shitty. No pun intended. But, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's either you do it first thing in the morning where you get in early, or you're doing it at night. There's no happy medium throughout the day.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And don't drink a abundant of water. So, just keep it slim.
Yeah, I guess that's why a lot of us don't take lunches, right?
Right, exactly.
Just
lunch,
cruise.
you have those?
Yeah, I try to, man. It's been an absolute importance in my day because by like 2:00, I'm like drained. Like I have nothing in me by 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you can only drink so many like Red Bulls and shit. You're just going to get drained from those. You're going to come down and you're going to come down hard from those things, Do you find yourself, midday trying to have a cup of coffee or something to kind of pick you up a little bit?
Oh, absolutely, man. I'll like buy cases of these energy drinks, and it's like one after another. And then, some days when it's like just jam packed, you're drinking one of these things almost every 2 hours. And it's just like, I'm not sure if it's helping anymore. It's just,
no, it's probably not good for your system, man.
No,
all
not
that sugar. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. How do you manage your time? I think that's probably the biggest part of being a solo installer is, given realistic time frames, obviously, and managing your time daily.
So I try to split things up as best as I can, being just here by myself essentially. There are other people that work here that, they've been well rehearsed in the sign industry, and our shop has been around for almost 32 years, and the sign portion and wrap portion has been around since about 2006.
Okay.
So, 2 or 3 of the guys, they know, hey, I can hold this for you, or we can come in at any time and do small, minute things, but that's not really their job. It's not their role.
Right.
So a lot of days when I come in, say usually I dedicate Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday to installs, and the early part of the week I usually try to stick to my schedule as far as making contacts or doing some design work, and unfortunately, a lot of my design work is allocated towards the later part of the day, usually after 6 or 8 o'clock.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it's always a round robin. It's, and it's not always the same thing, as we know in the industry. Is if you're dedicated to wraps, that's great. Or if you're kind of a hybrid shop like myself, we'll get fleets of police cars or fire trucks that come through usually around the end of the year, when they're getting their budget money.
Right.
And you can almost plan it out, but throughout the year, I'll get a lot of print stuff. And so I have to apportionate things as best I can. And it doesn't always play out. So.
Yeah. How many people work with you in the shop or in the office?
So we have 2 office managers, and we have 1 radio installer, and we have 1 secretary that basically handles, she does screen printing, and she does, heat press shirts.
Wow.
So she kind of handles a little bit of my workload some, but she's, kind of off by herself on the other end of the building.
Nice. So you basically, so now, getting into it a little bit, you're an employee of this company, called Radioactive, right? Radioactive.
That's it.
And they're kind of like an umbrella company, so to say. They do a lot of like, screen printing, embroidery, signage, as well as the custom vehicle graphics and wraps as well, right? So they're pretty well rounded in their services.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So you basically manage more like the vehicle wraps, the graphics, or anything that has to do with the vehicles, more or less.
That's it.
Nice. That's cool. It's like being your own boss, basically, right?
That's it.
Yeah. That's fun. When you get to be, we all go through, our own, lack of better words, headaches with the industry or the business end of it, where it's payroll, it's taxes, it's this, it's that. It's, being an employee is nice, which you bring a different perspective of, that side where you kind of manage a section of the services that the business inquires or does. And, you're able to be a manager, so to say, in that particular field or that aspect, which is awesome because you don't have to deal with that back end stuff, which, a lot of business owners and a lot of us that are in the industry have to deal with day in and day out sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a tough, I feel like when people get into business, they think it's, we'll have a little bit more time and I'm going to make a lot more money. And it's like complete opposite of that. You're putting in twice the amount of time and you're making no money.
Right.
It's crazy, but I know both sides of the token. It's a great side to be in. It's less stressful at times. But running your own business and being your own boss, there's nothing better than that too at the same time,
Yeah. And that's, hopefully that'll be my end goal in all this. I've been at Radioactive for 4 years and going on 5 years, and it's taught me a lot. It's, I can honestly say that some of us probably get to play this role and it's a great experience. It's definitely always a learning experience, and there's always a takeaway each day. There's mistakes to be had and learn from. And, I try not to, look at it negatively,
No, that's a good way to put it together, because if you think of, something going wrong as a negative, it brings everything else down. You don't need to do that. You know what I mean? It's taking it as a positive learning experience, people that have been in the industry 25 years are still messing things up and learning. I mean, it's just the name of the game. You have to either teach yourself how to fix that, mistake, which a lot of us do, or you cut your losses and you learn from it, and you don't try to make that mistake again a second time or even a third time for a lot of us,
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I made a super rookie mistake today. Let me tell you.
Oh no.
Oh no is right, dude. I thought I was balling today doing a transit, wrap. And, I did it in, like, there was a background, color faded into white, and inside the panel, that little back panel, the small transits,
Right.
usually we say cut and drop. Well, we had printed like this image that goes inside of it. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to knifeless tape the inside, do the full color, rip off the knifeless, and then put the panel inside and do the knifeless again on the outside edge of it to make it nice.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there doing it. My boss is like, why are you doing that? Why? I'm like, dude, it's 2 panels. He didn't look at the reference. I'm like, it's 2 panels. Don't worry about it. I got it. He's like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm getting to the last one, and I've got a little bit of bleed, a little bit of spill on the vinyl, on the corner of the door. So I'm pulling the knifeless out. I'm taking the green tape out, and I go to pull the excess vinyl. Dude, tell me how it pulls the fucking colored vinyl I just laid down and completely rips it. Like my base color, just fucking boom, a fucking 6-inch rip. It's literally my last piece.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Oh my God, I fucked up because I didn't tuck the edge. I didn't tuck the edge in, and I wrapped around it, and then I thought when I ripped it off I had tucked it, and it just picked it up all in one shot. 6-inch fucking rip. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. It's just like you have to stare and look at it for a second. Like, did this really just happen?
A second. I stood there for 5 minutes. I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? I've been doing this for how long? That shit's never happened to me. So I had to go get the fucking salesperson that did it. And I'm like, hey, how do you want me to fix this? Cause there's no way I'm ripping. And it had to be the top panel. It couldn't be like the little sliver where the rail is, where we could just print that and I could replace it. No. It was the whole fucking top section. I'm like, either we rip the whole thing off and I gotta do from here up, which is like 24 inches by, I don't know, 4 feet, or we fucking patch it, which fucking was not that bad, but, it's still a fucking patch, It's fucking such a rookie mistake to like, hey, if you got scrap and we can make it with the patch, do it with the patch. I think we'll get away with it, But what? Yeah. Oh, dude, I was like, wow, I should put my bag down today because that was bullshit.
Yep.
Learned my lesson. I learned my lesson today. Oh, what did you learn today? Did you learn anything today?
Oh, man, it's I've learned that I can put as much time into something that can possibly be spent. And you schedule a customer to pick something up and it's like a dire deadline. And this has happened to me a couple of times. It's like a customer has to have something by this date, by this time. Like it's almost an emergency. So
yeah.
I put a lot of extra time into it and get it right. And, I'm working 24 hours trying to get something done and you get to work and you're ready, you're here for them to pick up. And yeah, they're like, don't call, don't show.
Yeah.
And then like 3 days later, they're like, hey, we're here. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what to learn from this. This is like obviously a me problem, I feel like, but
yeah. No, it's definitely not a you problem, dude. It's definitely the client problem. It happens.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know. It's when things happen, I try to take accountability for it, but it's, yeah. So one of my police municipalities. We have 3, and they're part of a smaller group, and they bring a vehicle off and they drop it off, and they're like, yeah, just get to it when you can. So the next thing you know, this thing's here for like 5 days, and you're like, all right, well, I have artwork ready. I haven't heard anything back, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, it's approved. Can I have it tomorrow? And you're like, ah, is this happening right now?
Yeah, that's got to be a norm for everybody. You know what I mean? That 100% norm for everybody. Once they say okay, they just think you're like, you've got your finger on the print button already. Yeah, that's it. I love it when they say, yeah, just print off that sheet and just print it off. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I do. I have that red print button right there. Yeah, and it puts it on for me.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time. I'll just put your car right in the printer. We'll be awesome. Yeah. Give me about a half hour. We'll be fine.
Right.
Oh, dude. It's got to be one of the biggest pet peeves that we have that, given that we're in the industry of the sticker making for the, for whatever it's worth. I just feel like people are just like, oh, you just slap it on. You'd be fine, And then half the time when you're, there's a client there and you tell them, okay, this is going to be $100 and you're in and out in 10 minutes. And they're like, oh, $100 for 10 minutes? Wow. You're fucking making hand over fist. It's like, dude, really? Like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this for however many years, and many, many years ago, it never took me 10 minutes, and it's just the experience you're paying for. You're in and out. So it's either you're either too fast at doing the service and you charge what you're supposed to charge, or you're not fast enough. And they're mad at you because of that, It's like pick one, dude, and just stick to it.
Yeah. It's I play havoc with that a lot myself. So, our sales guys are great. They're pretty much our managers. They are our managers, but they're also our sales guys. So usually if we have a walk-in, we have a fair amount of walk-in traffic, and I'm kind of stuck off at another end of the building. So our building is about 10,000 square feet.
Wow.
It has these. Yeah, and for Birmingham, that's pretty good size.
That's huge.
Yeah.
10,000 square feet. Wow. How much stuff can you put in there?
Oh man, it's just like lifts, and each technician basically has like their own dedicated bay. We have one long bay that will hold the 43-foot passenger buses. For us, that's good.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck on the other end of the building, and so I can't see this incoming traffic. And my one wall of my office is nothing but glass, so I can look into the bay and kind of oversee things. And I'll every once in a while I'll see this person come hobbling along through the bay, and it's a walk-in customer, and it's like I pick my head up over the computer screen, and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, oh great, this is going to be that customer, and it's usually a 10-minute job. And it's, I just need like this decal cut out, this color, and put it on. You're like, all right, yeah, this is going to be like $150. And, they're like, oh no, I can't do that.
Oh no.
Well, that's great. I can't either. So we agree on one thing here.
You're going to have to walk a half a mile back to your car.
That's it.
Oh man, you guys should have like segways or skateboards or something to get around town, huh?
Oh dude, we have like a basketball court set up in our middle bay. It's the larger bay, and it's at one point I think we had a mini bike for guys kind of riding around to the other end of the parking lot. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
segways would be great.
Yeah, right? There's a couple skateboards to get by. That'd be nice.
Absolutely.
Cruise around.
I'd love to get get the longboard out.
Oh yeah, I love longboards. I got my daughter one. She freaking loves that thing. Got her a new set of wheels a couple weeks ago, and She's cruising around town now.
Heck yeah.
I love longboards. It's way, the evolution of even the skateboard is fascinating. Are you like a skater? Did you skate before? Or?
No, not really. I got introduced. One of my friends that actually lives in, I think he lives in New York now. He started out in Brooklyn. He moved from Savannah to New York, and he comes back and he visits me. He brings back this longboard, and I'm like, dude, I've never gotten on one of these things in my life. He's like, oh man, you gotta try it. And I fell in love.
Yeah.
Custom made one out of some plexiglass, like clear acrylic,
What?
Yeah, man. We have like a full wood shop, and we can kind of just make whatever we want at free will. So that's kind of nice.
Jeez. So you guys can play with a lot of stuff. You got 3D printers in there?
No, that's on my to-do list. That and a flatbed printer.
Flatbed.
I have the room for it. Yes, I want one.
Yeah, flatbeds are amazing. I know, when I spoke to Chris on the last episode, we were ranting about flatbeds for a good half hour, and I was sold. He wasn't even selling me one, and I wanted one. Holy shit.
Yeah, man. Well, it was like a R1000 or something like that.
Yeah, the newer HP. There's only, I think he said there's only like 100 in the country or something like that.
Man, I'm jealous.
Right? Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God. What are you guys running over there for printers?
I've got an HP 360 latex.
Nice.
I have a Roland XC 540. I had two, and I sold one to a good friend of mine, Brian Allen out of Atlanta. So now he's got two printers. Rarely do I run my Roland anymore. It's got some age on it, but it still prints just as beautifully as you could ever ask it to. So
right. I think they get better with age. I'll tell you, a lot of the older Rolands and whatnot. I had the old SP 540V workhorse, great machine, but just technology wise, it just wasn't there as far as like it being slow. It would work when you wanted it to work, but god damn, that thing was a snail. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was 60-inch panels by 54, 1 hour print, full print.
Yep.
I'm doing a 24-foot box trailer. I'm taking 10 hours to print the fucking thing. It's just, over what? On an HP, maybe 3 hours to print that.
Yeah.
It's, and God forbid something goes wrong. Forget about it. Like, it's just unreal. I think we got a little spoiled with the HPs a little bit.
Yeah, I will definitely say that. I was definitely a diehard, eco-solvent, Roland fan, and I've worked on that specific printer on every shop I've ever been at. And, it's just like, it's one of those lifelong loves that you have. And then all of a sudden this hot new young thing comes through and she's fast. And it's just like, okay, I think I can go with this.
She works fast. Spoiled. She's easy,
Yep. Exactly.
Straight from the print to the lamb, and we're ready to install.
That's it. It's like she spins you around and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh, we're here.
What? I don't have to wait and fluff some feathers first to outgas? Right. What?
Yeah.
What? Oh, dude. I think Roland, honestly, is probably the most seeked printer out there for a first kind of like sign shop or wrap shop. I think Roland's probably the easiest machine to work with, because it comes with everything you need. VersaWorks works with it. It's a cut print feature if you get that one. It's a pretty bulletproof, program with the machine. I mean, other than, you go through your perks of either black's not being super rich or being too rich and you're not outgassing long enough. It's a real kind of song and dance you gotta do with the roll-ins in order to get it dialed in for your particular location, shop, your volume, all that stuff. You really got to play around the machine over, anything else, with the outgassing's just the biggest issue right now, you know?
Absolutely.
And the smells of the EcoSolves, dude. Bro,
Oh yeah,
that
man.
shit is not good for you.
No, it'll knock you on your feet.
Yeah. When clients are walking in and saying, wow, the smell in here, it's unbelievable, and you can't smell shit. There's a fucking, you're like, what are you talking about with the smell? Oh, yeah, you've been here for a while, so you're probably just immune to it. Oh, yeah. 10 years of being immune. That can't be good,
Mm-mm.
Ugh. And you're running some nice dark blues, nice saturated black, and those fucking fumes. Woo. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm all about, saving the world and making sure that we're all going to be here to live to 90, you know what I mean? Or 100. But dude, I'll tell you, living in the old times, not I'm going to say old times, but I'm going to say late 90s, mid 90s when the solvents came out, the print, the wide format came out. Those guys can't be doing good now. Holy shit, dude. There's no way.
Those lungs have got to be struggling just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but it can't be good, and even goes back to the hand painters with all the, the chemicals with paint and lacquer and primer and all, there's no way any of that was good for them back then.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's like some of those chemical removers, like the adhesive removers too, man. It's like, I buy xylene by the gallons, and it's, if I have a removal and I have to clean it up before reinstall, and the guys will come in the next morning, and they're like, oh my, what is this? And they're opening up bay doors. They're trying to get this thing, aired out.
Yeah, wearing masks in the shop. I've really tried to implement wearing gloves, just getting a little case of latex gloves or something even with alcohol, dude. Like today, for instance, I was prepping a van for tomorrow because we had a little bit of time to kill. I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna clean the shit out of this van. I'm gonna, take the mirrors off, take the rubber gaskets. I'm gonna go at it. I'll tell you, when I was done, I didn't have any more gloves. I ran out. My hands were black and dry.
Mm-hmm.
Just from denatured alcohol, wiping everything down. I couldn't believe it. And that stuff's getting in your pores. That stuff will give me a headache. I'll go home with a headache. If I smell too much of that, it's ruined my day. Will ruin my night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Ooh. And the citrus stuff, the remover, the glue remover. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. There's gotta be a way. I know, Justin Pate just put up, a couple new videos on the Rap Institute I was watching today before I went home and, talking about, chemicals to use that are green and, chemical free and all that stuff. It's some serious stuff out there. When you're using xylene, that really should be wearing a respirator with that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane. And then the people around you that are breathing that in, it's gotta be a little courteous, a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's insane. Insane. What, I was gonna ask you, what type of programs are you using to design? Are you a Illustrator guy, or are you a Corel Draw?
I use Illustrator and Photoshop. Not so much Photoshop, but I've been trying to dabble in Flexi some too.
Yeah, Flexi yeah.
Just because one of the other local shops that I install for, They mainly use Flexi, and their designer is just, she'll badmouth Illustrator all day long. She's like, this is so great. You should use this. And I'll find myself flipping over to the other program and try to do a thing or two. And I haven't really just dove off into it, but, that's something I'm going to try here in the future, just to kind of get more well acquainted with different programs, because I think you should at least be able to know the basics of each.
Yeah. I would say Illustrator and FlexiSign probably go honestly like hand in hand. Illustrator is probably maybe a little bit more detailed as far as what you can do. FlexiSign is more kind of traditional, like simpler tools. I don't know if the new FlexiSign's different, but I know the one that I was using back in 2006 maybe 2005 that I learned FlexiSign then, and literally it was just learning how to weld, learning how to compound stuff. We weren't doing like drop shadows, but you could do old school traditional drop shadows really easy with FlexiSign, to do that like almost half-inch gap between the letter and the shadow. You know what I mean? Right. If you're doing 2-color as opposed to doing a print, that's how I was doing them back then, was, red solid color with a black drop shadow, and you leave that little 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch reveal to show the car color in between. And that was kind of like my go-to. I hated the solid drop shadow, and then you put the letter over it. I like the little reveal. Looked nice.
Yeah, it gives a little extra.
Little extra. You know what I mean? One click could change the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's so much easier to do that in Flexi than it would be to do it in Illustrator, because they don't have that feature. Yeah. So usually you'd have to create a small outline and then use that to either compound with the shadow in order to get that reveal. And you got to move it over a little bit so you get the little nice drop shadow. It's not like a janky one you usually see out there. People try to. I think you got like a 3-inch drop shadow. It's like, holy shit, that's almost as big as the fucking main letter.
Right.
See some sketchy shit out there, man. My God. Are you guys one of the biggest shops in your area? Is there other competition around you guys compete with?
Yeah, we have a fair amount of shops just in my area, so I would think there's been some people leave, and then some people just newly show up within the last 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. But we are probably one of the first. For Birmingham and Alabama, we're well known. We had a fairly large Army National Guard contract. Like our first year, so we had several hundred trailers, tractor trailers, vehicles, and it was a big to do. That's what grew our business, from what it was. And, but yeah, the guys that are around here, that there's some talent. There really is. We have 1 or 2 guys that do just, solid color changes, and they do, PPF, paint protection. Mm-hmm. And there's some, standard franchises, some Signorama, some Fast Signs. Nice. I install for those, just because they really don't have a need for an installer full time. So they'll send their stuff to me.
Wow. Now, do they send their stuff to you via Radioactive, or is this something that you kind of just like dabble with on the weekends?
That's what I dabble with on the weekends. Wow. As Rapper Mike. So, if anything, I go to them, I'll do their install. Usually I can get a full, say, van done within, 6 to 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So it's fast turnaround for them. They're not paying a guy by the hour to stay there and just, essentially do nothing if they don't have the work.
Right,
so
right.
It works out better that way.
Yeah, you pay to play. When you're ready to go, you pay. When you've been on, then no harm, no foul.
That's it.
Which is good. That's awesome. So how long have you been doing that as like a side kind of gig, away from your 9 to 5?
I've been doing it steady for about 2 years.
Wow.
It's slowly built up to, I find myself doing something, after work during the week, and, on weekends it could be a full blown out project, and, I work a lot, but I enjoy it. So.
Nice. How does that, do you get any conflict of interest from your personal, not your personal job, but your, main job, your 9 to 5 throughout the week, and then, you doing your thing at night or on the weekends? You get any conflict of interest as far as, your employment there? Does anybody ever give you shit over it?
Not at all. If I ever need to use the building after hours, I have a key. I just let my supervisor know beforehand, say, hey, I'm going to have this job come in. Is it all right? Obviously ask for permission first. And,
yeah.
It's never been an issue as long as I clean up my mess. And, if I need something, I just let them know that, hey, I've used this. So.
Wow. You got a good gig going, man.
I do. I'm very well taken care of, but I do take very good care of my business here. So
yeah. I think I would assume that you get whatever you need to get done, from your regular job, your 9 to 5, your main income. You get that done prior to, anything coming up for your side gig first.
Absolutely.
To have that courtesy.
Yep.
That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. I know a lot of people nowadays, because of the fact that the industry is growing so fast and that so many people are getting or spawning off separate businesses from, just being an installer to just doing color change shops and other shops just being full-blown commercial or just print. There's so many branches coming out of this kind of tree so far that a lot of us would think that, well, not think, but, a lot of big corporation companies would have you sign non-competes and, all that verbiage to go with it, where you can't do work unless it's their work, and if you do have work, it's got to come through the business, and you can get a cut out of it, and you can't be installing at our shop, you can't even be installing outside, because it's so, I don't know, because everybody's kind of branching out. I think the scary part is giving the employees too much freedom might cause them to just split, you know what I mean? Or just get up and go because, the money's so much better over there doing my own thing, 9 to 5 than it would be me being here where it's constant and whatever, it's just, it's a love-hate type of tugging war when you have an employee doing work as well as working for you. It's a hard thing to manage.
It is, and you definitely ride a fine line when you do that. But I guess in my case, which is like I said, it's really a special case, and I have the ability to do what I do. So
yeah.
And it's I really don't try to overstep any kind of boundaries. It's a very it's a very trust and respect driven company that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give trust and you give respect and you don't overstep boundaries, then essentially everything's copacetic.
Yeah.
And we've had employees in the past that would take advantage of things, and they're no longer here. So
Right.
that's just the short end of the stick on that.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. You've got a great thing going. I'm very envious of what you got, because a lot of people won't give the freedom, won't give the freedom up. You know what I mean? To do such a thing.
That is true. That is true. I've seen a fair amount of it. I've had some of my other sign shops try to get me to sign non-competes, just do work just primarily with them. And, it's always one of those things is, I personally could not do that, but, it's everybody's right. If you want to keep your work in-house, that's great. That's all for you. But it's, I'm the kind of person that's just as easy breezy. If you need help, I will help you out. And,
what's kind of like your end goal? I know we talked about it briefly, earlier, but what do you think your end goal is, and what do you think you like the best about the industry? Do you like more of the design and having all these kind of services underneath your belt, or do you like just installing the graphics? Like, where do you see yourself fitting in the puzzle piece of doing day in and day out?
In the end, once I've dedicated myself, or ultimately, if I give this place another 2 or 3 years, hopefully I will have put myself in a situation where I can be my own business. I do want to keep designing. I still want to keep installing, I have goals and aspirations of getting certifications. I would love to get my 3M certification, the Avery certification, Orful. In the Rap Society, I keep up with all these guys that get their certs. It's a great thing. To me, it's like it's a higher education in my career, and having those certs and having a business for myself in the end is where I want to be. So
nice. I love that, man. Don't lose sight of that. I think right now you've got a lot of great things going for you as far as the learning curve and finding out what works and what doesn't work, and not jumping into the industry blindsided and working out all those kinks as you go, if you didn't have that experience. I think you got a pretty good stepping stone to where you can figure out what works for you and what's worked for others, and can implement that into your own business at some point, and kind of be ahead of the curve, as opposed to being, at it and not knowing where to go,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm always a firm believer that this industry is almost like a tattoo shop. Like, you have to apprentice. You have to show yourself. You have to go through, your 1 year evaluation and where you're at and stuff like that. And, figure out if this is what you want to do. I think a lot of people don't implement things like that and give too much trust to people right off the bat, and then things get overwhelming, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this because too much on my plate. And the rap game is not easy. It is high paced, changes hour to hour. Sometimes it's just it's crazy. And you got to be ready for it. And I don't think everybody is cut out for that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's one of those things that I also feel that if, there's two types of people, either you can be thrown to the wolves and you'll survive, or, you'll be thrown to the wolves and you'll just, essentially, yeah, exactly. And, and there, I will give credit where credit is due, as far as that little bit is concerned. One of my competitors down the road, he's just another local shop, and he's great. I don't know that he's been in the rap game very long, but he has done very well for himself, and I've kept up with him, and man, he does excellent work. And, he's, unlike some of the other guys that pop up overnight and expect to really grind it out, they don't stick around very long. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Do you guys deal with a lot of, the DIYers working out of the garages and undercutting jobs or stuff like that in your neighborhood?
Not really. I think there's been a few of the dip your car guys come through.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you'll see them pop up all over Facebook. Some of them pay for like the paper ads, and some of them get at it for a little bit, and then they just all but disappear. So, and they will absolutely wreak havoc for, color changes for sure. I can get this done for $800, and, that's great for you, buddy.
Right.
Keep at it.
Yeah.
You got his number, right? Or do you need me to give it to you?
There's no comparison between the two. And I watched a video the other day, and I think it was on, DDE, Daily Driven Exotics, and there was Lamborghini getting, painted, and it was getting painted like this pearl pink color. And it's this new thing. I've already seen it in Europe prior, but it's like legit, like a pop-up paint booth. They'll lay down this base coat, which separates or gives you a barrier from your, painted surface and your clear coat to your, painted, base color on top that you're going to be putting on top of this. And it's, I guess if you heat it up really, really hot, you can actually remove it. And they're calling it liquid wrap. I'm like, no. That is not fucking liquid wrap, dude. Okay?
Right.
It fucking don't call it that. That fucking pisses me off. Like, it is not liquid wrap. Just because you can spray it out of a gun and peel it off, it's not fucking, it's still a fucking paint job. I don't give a fuck how you put it.
Right.
And
exactly.
it's just the way they market the product. It's like, no, Plasti Dip. Plasti Dip is a liquid that, gets hard and you're able to remove it. Plasti Dip. It's not fucking Plasti Wrap. It's not, whatever. Like, stop putting the word wrap with that, because it's physically not somebody installing a product. You're spraying it out of a gun. It's completely two different things. That just sizzles my fucking hairs. Like, it makes me so mad. It's like, no, it is not liquid wrap, man. It's not. It's not the same. It doesn't last as long.
No, by no means does it. Removing those things, it can be a nightmare. I mean, unless you get one that's been, I guess, done correctly, I guess.
Yeah, which is far few in between. You either find one that they actually read the directions and give it 6 or 8 coats as opposed to 3 or 4, and the thing's just fucking dry sprayed all over the place, and just, my buddy got it done. He made me wrap his hood a while back in carbon fiber. He's like, yeah, I'm going to just have to do next door, Plasti Dip or whatever they called it, because it's out of a gun, some other product. Do my car. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. You don't want to get your car wrapped? It's fine. Not a big deal, dude. He gets the car like, I don't know, 4 days later. he takes a picture of it from, he takes a picture from his second story in his house looking down at the car. And he notices that they didn't even fucking finish the roof. It's just literally like maybe like 2.5 coats and it's dry sprayed all over the place. And, it's showing through and he sends me the picture and I'm like, dude, I don't even know what to tell you. You paid for what you got. Like, it is what it is, dude. Like, what are you gonna do now? Now, you're gonna go back to the guy, for $600, be like, hey, dude, you didn't finish my roof? Like, first of all, they're not gonna be able to get the color right because they've already thrown it away. Like,
right.
It's a custom color. It's gunmetal gray with a special flake in it. It's not gonna match. You're done at this point. And there's the manipulation that, you get into a fender bender, you gotta replace a hood, you're never gonna match the color. Ever.
Nope.
You're done. You're married to the thing. Oh, dude, it makes me so mad. Like, I was cringing when I heard him say liquid wrap. I'm like, Damon, no, it is not liquid wrap, man. Don't, because he's a very wrap guy, because all his exotic cars are all wrapped. They've all, full liveries, color change. So he's familiar with the industry. Like, Skeppel designed all his cars. So it's like, it's nothing new. But then he's like, no, man, wrong terminology for that, bro. Like, you can't do that to us. The ones that are working hard and putting real physical labor into these installations. It's like, dude, you're literally taking the car apart, prepping it to paint, and spraying it out of a gun and putting it all back together. Like, that's it. You're not laying the vinyl into those concave sections. You're not heating it up and post-heating it and stretching it and, like, trimming it all nice to make it look like it's perfect. Like, come on, dude. You gotta give us a little bit more credit than that.
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Like, some of the ones I've seen on Facebook, like, I don't even think they take these things completely off in some of them. So yeah, they put little to no effort into them. And it's like, this stuff has dried. Like, it's got like little things dangling down from the front bumper and rear bumper. And it's just like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
$1,000? Okay. Yeah, man, go with it, bro. It's all you.
Yeah, good luck trying to take it off, man. Like going through a car wash and then you lose the door panel or something. It's crazy. You get one little nick and like the hood and water gets in there, air gets in there. It just makes a pocket and it's basically just peels right off. Why would you want that?
That's beautiful, man.
Oh,
that's great.
Great for us because we get to laugh at it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Should have got it wrapped. I literally was behind a dude today that had a brand new Honda Civic and it was all matte black. And I'm like, oh wow, that's a fucking plastic chip job because I could see like around the license plate, it was like I could see the color of the car. It was gray because it was just dry sprayed, around the license plate. You could see kind of like almost gray speckles and it's the color of the car coming through. And I'm like, dude, like what part of that looks nice? Like you got a brand new Honda Civic and you fucking ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? It don't look good. You can't really wash it. You can't really wax the thing, like it just looks dirty and filthy all day long.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Don't even get me started. Jesus. Fucking go for a rant on that one. Plastic dip, not the same. Not the same. Good for some aspects. Don't get me wrong. I know people in the industry that use it. For instance, James Tate uses it to like just clean up the inside of the door jambs. If it's an extreme color change and they're not paying to get the jambs done to wrap, he'll spray them black on the inside.
great.
Oh man, that's a great idea.
A fucking great idea, right?
Yeah.
There's its purpose right there. Right there. This is purpose. Not to do the whole fucking car. Come on, dude. You see guys outside with 50 cans of fucking plastic dip. It's like, oh, buddy. Oh, man. Good luck with that. You know?
Yeah.
One panel.
Lawn chair.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Yeah. I want to park right in front of his house and just watch him do this. This is going to be nice. Oh my God. Oh, it just, I don't know. There's a time and place for it. It's not to do the whole car. I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
Marketing with a Wagner spray fucking gun. Like, come on, dude. You use that to paint fences, not to paint cars. Like, seriously?
Yeah. No, man, you get that wide spray pattern. It works great.
It works. Well, I guess, you know, if you're not going to go buy a SATA, you know what I mean? Fucking, right. You know, professional spray gun to hit up, you know, this plasti dip shit. Oh, dude.
Terrible.
I don't know. I don't know what this world's coming to. It's like, fuck it. It's ruining the color change, side of things. Cause it's comparing, well, to them, it's comparing apples to apples, but you got a banana, buddy. You're not fucking comparing apples to apples, bro. You're holding something completely awkward right now. And you're trying to compare it to something round? Come on, dude. Give me a fucking break. Oh. See, you got me all hot. I'm sweating now over here. Dude.
You're welcome.
I'm fucking, Jesus. I gotta take a sip of my cola here. No coffee today, folks. Fuck. I almost didn't make it on time when you called. Whew. Traffic was fucking heavy today. Couldn't grab a coffee to make it for the show today, but good old Coca-Cola is doing the trick right now for me.
There you go.
Oh man. So, getting off my rant with Plasti Dip, which I hope everybody's on board with my rant, because, you know, it does not serve its purpose for us in the color change or commercial side of things. It's a Debbie Downer for everybody. Just so you know, I don't like it. Oh shit. But moving on, I want to know, basically how you got into the industry. Like, what was your first take into it? Like, how did you figure out, like, oh, maybe I can make some money doing this?
Let's see, the year was 2010.
2010, fresh.
Yeah, man, fresh. 2010, I had a friend open up a sign shop in Montgomery, Alabama. Mm-hmm. He was basically doing just construction, roadside, a lot of reflective. Bought a Roland and essentially just had the idea, hey, I'm just going to hire somebody to run this thing and let it take off. And he brought me in, and essentially that was my being thrown to the wolves. I wasn't working for myself, but I was working for someone. So I went in depth with the Rollins. I've probably about 6 months in, I had a Grimco rep come in, and he was like, hey man, let me show you this new material we have. And it wasn't new. It was just some IJ. I think it was like 1080 or something like that. It was real base. He brought me a sample roll. We loaded it up in the roll-in and we printed off something. I was like, hey, I'm going to put this on the tailgate. And that was my first experience with a wrap. I wrapped a tailgate. I don't know what some people start with, but that's what I started with. And the next thing I know, I was stuck one of these things on my best friend's truck, and I had people coming in left and right. Hey, I want this. And it was just, it took off, and I was like, you know what? I really could do more with this. And I started dabbling on like body parts of vehicles, like hoods and doors. And, you know, it was a very intense learning for me, because it was like, hey, I've got to learn to take these body parts off, because I think it would be easier to put this on if I did it this way. And I did that for about a year, and I moved to Birmingham, and I started with a for real startup wrap shop, and started doing vehicles and mainly just installed, and it kind of grew from there. I got in touch with the Fellers rep one day, and the next thing I know, I started installing for other shops. And one day I walked into Radioactive, and they needed an installer, and I've been here ever since. So I've been in for a good 8 years. I've played with a lot of different materials, played with a lot of different machines. But never owner, always just an employee. So
Yeah, definitely. What were you doing prior to working with your buddy before? Were you kind of in any type of design business, or completely something like construction or something prior?
Well, prior, I was basically a technician. My uncle had a body shop, has a body shop, worked for him. I would do small things, you know, sanding here or taking things apart, and, working on motors, and, you know, just basically parts replacing. And I had a few sales jobs here and there. Worked for AT&T for a while, worked for Verizon for a while. So I had some sales experience and some mechanical experience, and it's kind of meshed in with this quite well, I think, which has been great.
Yeah.
You know, learn the mechanics of the vehicle, and, you know,
Customer
the wrap.
service.
Yeah. So, you know, I can sell a wrap, I can make it, and I can put it on. So.
Wow. Now, as far as like the design side of things, how did that kind of all evolve? Did you kind of just DIY, learn from, you know, getting your feet put in the fire type of thing?
And I took 3 years of a design course in high school. It was a co-op program that would eventually just flop us into one of the big corporations in my hometown, just doing like ads for magazines and things like that.
Wow.
Or sportswear. And my course director, teacher, she taught us basically all the basics of Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. And we started from the bottom, like little things, like we had a little iMacs, man, like the colored Apple
tubes.
computers.
Yeah,
man. It was old programming, and it was just little stuff, but it was just the basics. It was the building blocks that kind of put me where I am now. It basically gave me enough ammunition to be dangerous, and, you know, I've used that, and it's served me well.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what all we had back then. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing as far as like you weren't able to have good technology then. It was just at that time, that's all we had to work with. We didn't have anything, you know, like we have now with, you know, the huge 27-inch monitors, and everything's so slim and minute. You like basically we're holding computers, you know, all day long, you know, with the little iPhones we got. So,
Yeah.
you know, technology and that alone is evolved the last 10 years. So props to you, man, for, you know, learning, you know, even just the basics, cause who knows, you know, it's always something that, you know, people always like, oh, you know, why do I need to learn this? And then next thing you know, they're full blown into something and they're like, fuck, I wish I would have known a little bit to get me by, Cause cause Photoshop and Illustrator, to be honest with you, is something that evolves probably every 6 months. They're always adding more, tools and whatnot to the program where you kind of have to evolve with it or you get stuck. You kind of get stuck in the times, I would say, with using the same, concepts of fixing things or doing things a certain way where you could just save way more time now with short keys or new tools that they provide for you to save time. I mean, why not? I'm learning something new every day on Illustrator. I watch the designers do something and I'm like, dude, how the hell did you do that? I would have done 5 steps over year 1 to get there, It's just something you always gotta kind of refresher and keep up with,
Absolutely. Yeah. I try to keep up with that, I can't ever remember her last name, but Christina
McKay?
Yeah, she has like a YouTube channel she just came up with, right?
Yep. With, Curvaceous.
Yeah, exactly. So I've kept up with her some. I watch those tutorials and, it's, I like trying to keep up with people like that. If they're offering the information, absolutely, like Justin Tate, for instance, it's, with the Rap Institute.
Right.
And if I can keep up with it, that somebody that's, their abilities are well above mine, then hey, I want to learn that way too. So
for sure. Yeah. Don't be complacent. I mean, that is the biggest thing for the industry where you can't think you know everything because honestly, you don't, to be true, you don't. And, you're going to learn a lot more. Like I said, a couple episodes back, I just became a member of the Rap Institute and God, I pinged for five hours and I learned so much. It was crazy. It was literally like mind overflow of information that I, was able to implement. And my boss is like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, wait, let me show you something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hold my beer real quick. All right. Let me
show you something.
Yeah. And like, he was doing a corner and he's like ripping through a hood, right? And he kills the corner. He cuts it like a straight, like 90-degree cut and then pushes it from the corner out on one way and the corner out. I'm like, oh, that's a Belgian cut. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, dude, that technique was fucking created in Belgium. That's why it's called the Belgian cut. You just nip the tip off and you squeegee one way, squeegee the other way. It's you leave a little bit of the color revealed, but that's acceptable for the commercial game.
Right.
He's like, what the fuck? He's like looking at me sideways like I got fucking 20 heads. I'm like, dude, you just fucking, you did something. And this is his way of this is his way of doing it without having to get like a perfect corner, especially with a commercial rap. Like, it's just easier just to do it that particular way and leave a little bit of an edge. And, he was like mind blown. He's like, there's such thing as a name for this that I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, but if you take it and pull it back and down and then heat it and let it shrink back up a second, you don't have to do that anymore. It'll be nice, it'd be a nice corner. You don't have to cut it like that. He's like, dude, show me on the other side. So I did it real quick and he's like, dude, that took just as long to do that than it did for me to cut the thing. And it's it's fully wrapped around the edge, like the top of a corner of a hood or like the side of a fender. And, just stupid shit. And he's 3M certified. He went through the whole thing and he's still learning day in and day out. And I'm like, man, I'll let you get on the Rap Institute. Let's watch a couple videos every day, make it a routine. Let's watch something together and implement it, And the good thing about him, you know, my boss Keith, is that he's always like, he knows a lot. Like he knows he knows a shit ton of stuff. And he doesn't look down on anybody. He doesn't like say like, oh, my way is the way, you gotta do it. Like he's always like, dude, show me how to do this better. Teach me something, you know, new. I'm gonna save time, which turns into me saving money. Like, show me all this. Like, he's always like, dude, show me. Like, everything. Like, I don't care. Like, it's, you know, to have a boss like that is eager to learn something new, and you're able to express your feelings towards something and not feel like you're not being heard or not being appreciative or appreciated. That you know, it's all about your environment. I think, you know, when you can't, you know, express your own feelings towards something or have a legitimate, like, adult conversation, you know, and it, you know, doesn't have to be a screaming match or a pissing fight or my way's better than your way. Like, I don't know. I've been in environments where I'm like, it's almost like the tunnels or whatever from Orange County Choppers. You ever watch that show?
Right.
When the father and son are fucking throwing, you know, bike parts at each other, and like, there's no way that's fucking healthy. Holy shit. Like, they didn't talk for years after a lot of that shit, you know? They're still rebuilding their relationship. And that's a father and son. Never mind a fucking employee, you know?
Oh, yeah, it can.
Forget about it.
It's probably not to that extent, but yeah, it can be bad, you know?
Oh, real bad. Dude, I've sat in shops and I've watched a fucking owner freak out on a fucking employee, and I'm embarrassed. I'm not even in the fucking conversation, and I'm as red as a fucking cherry, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going down right now?
Right.
You know, doors getting shut, you can hear them yell. It's like, dude, if I can hear you yelling, don't you think the customers can hear you yelling? Like,
yeah, man, that looks bad.
Come on, dude. Come on. This is crazy, but this is going back years, man. When I was kind of, how can I call it? Not freestyling, but, what's the best word? I don't want to say whoring out myself either. Freelance, there it is. Freelancing myself out to a couple shops at the time when I was working from home. I'd service, I don't know, maybe like 3 different types of shops, whether it be design or install or stuff like that. And I'd break up the weeks for certain days and hours to dedicate for, you know, that particular business. And dude, oh my God. Like, when a shop owner, like, mind you, I'm not there all the time. In neither am I so much an employee. I'm just a subcontractor. When the owner gives you the key to open the door, there's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? And they're like, hey, we open up at 9. I'm like, okay. I show up at 9 and they're not there till 12. No, I don't run your shop for you, dude. Like, and I'm not dealing with your phone calls or your fucking angry clients because you told them shit would be here in the morning and you're not rolling up till fucking noon. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, man. That's a red flag. Big time.
Dude. Red flag. Fucking SOS. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Send help, because if you're running your business like that and you all of a sudden give trust to somebody for a fucking key to your business, no thanks. You can keep your key, you know?
Yeah.
How can you do that? How can you do that without knowing the person?
Yeah, like, you never really know a person, like,
I
until
guess
you
you
get to
don't.
like truly know them. Yeah. So, I mean, you're opening up and I've had that happen to me a couple of times. It's just like, hey, I'm giving you this, just, take care of everything.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, they're gone, and it's like, okay. And then, you may be there. In my case, I may be there until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning finishing up a job that they promised the next day,
Yep.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the lockdown procedure, guys?
Yeah, right? Yeah, what do I do?
Yeah. What do you want me to do with this key? Yeah, I'll just, throw it under this rock right here and send you a text and wake you up. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Like, yeah. There's some scenarios out there. There's some things, that I think, maybe people forgot about, and I'll tell you right now, I forgot about that story real fast until we started talking about it. It all came back to me, about the key thing. Like, I totally forgot about that shop I used to work at, and it just scary. Fucking scary. It's like giving me the keys to your house. You know?
Yeah.
You trust me to walk through your house, and, just kind of grab whatever I need to grab and use whatever I need to use, and, no, I don't, I'm sorry. But you're giving me the keys to the castle, and you don't even know me.
That's it.
That's a whole nother thing. Trust. You gotta have trust in your employees. Giving too much trust to your employees, where things can go south, things can go wrong, and I don't know. Whew. That's a whole nother topic, I think.
It really is. It's, one of our prior employees, he was a good installer, great installer, very talented. He would come in and, prior to me really being here very long, he would come in early in the morning and essentially make what he wanted to sell, and he'd load it up, take it off, and nobody'd be the wiser because he'd show up so early, and trust is a very big thing, even though that employee had probably been here 5 years at least.
Wow.
It's, you don't really know a person. You don't know what they're capable of.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think I ever gave anybody the key to my shop when I was running it. I don't think, no. I'm almost positive I didn't. I was the only one that was, cause I'd always be the first one in and the last one out. So it didn't really fucking matter, at the time, whether somebody was there. It's usually everybody had already left or whatnot. And that was just a routine for me, first one in, last one out. That's just, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it was like more of like a pride thing for me, where I felt like, this is my gig, and nobody's gonna do it the way I do it, and that's that type of mentality. But I mean, you should delegate trust and build that trust for employees and stuff like that. But yeah, it's that's a tough one for me. That's a yeah. I don't know. It's employees is always tough to have, because you want to, I don't know, you kind of want to make sure they're taken care of, and make sure that you have open communication. I think that's very, very, very important. Open communication. If there's anything that bothers them, I'd rather nip it in the bud. Let's deal with it now and get over it and move on, or, figure out a way how to fix it and move on. Or if not, you got to move on. And that's, in that case, that it is what it is. Your mind is already set on that, and there's no changing it. Then you know, it is what it is, but I think talking to your employees, having, you know, routine checkups, so to say, you know.
Absolutely.
Do you guys do that often?
We do. And usually it can be initiated by myself or by, you know, a supervisor. So it could be for any reason, as far as, you know, hey, we have a backup of jobs, or, you know, here's where we are at the end of the month, you know, here's our projected numbers, or, you know, if we have a customer that can, you know, just be a burden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're usually allotted a few of those a year. Some people get more, but, you know, it's one of those things. But my supervisor and I, we have a very good understanding. Hey, this is, as where we are. If we need something, we'll obviously come to one or the other, but we have a very open communication with one another. Absolutely. And, it works so much better that way. Things are smoother.
Right.
And you try not to keep anything back if it's not necessary. You know, it's an adult conversation. If things need to be said to get across to somebody else, then they're said.
Right.
But yeah, it's, and I think that's why I have so much of what I have here, and that's great.
Yeah. I've never worked in a setting where there's more than maybe like 3 people total, give or take. So
right.
So the communication has always been like, hey, what'd you do last night? You know what I mean? It's real personal. You know, when you got a small group of people, it's generally, you know what the demeanor is and what they do, and, you know their kids' names and shit like that. But, you know, this particular setting that I'm in, there's 9 employees in one office.
Wow.
So there's a lot of dynamics going day in and day out, and it's a mixed bag. I think we are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm almost, maybe it's, yeah. Maybe we're down 1. I think there's like 4 guys and 9 women in the shop.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man.
Testosterone is low.
Nice.
The testosterone
so how many parents
is
do you have
low
in your office?
Yeah, testosterone is low. Yeah, I would say we're about 4 to 5, give or take. But even if it was split, like 5 to 5, you know, you get a lot of different dynamics, man. It's, you know, the women talking to women, the men talking to women, the men talking to men, and, you know, the shop talk over the production talk, or the, you know, production talk over the design talk. And there's a lot of dynamics going on there, and a lot of different, you know, cultures as well. I mean, I'm Portuguese, so you know, there's 2 other employees that are designer and production. They speak Brazilian, so they speak English too, but their first language is Brazilian, so they're more comfortable speaking Brazilian. So when there's something that needs to be said, or something that needs to be done fairly quickly or something like that, they're always like, Jeff, go tell so and so this needs to be laminated before noon or something like that. So it's kind of nice because I'm multilingual, you know what I mean? So I can kind of talk to everybody, you know what I mean, and get both sides and stuff like that. But it is challenging when you have a language barrier too. I've seen, you know, it was really tough at first for them to kind of figure out what to say. But it's kind of cute because now, like, people will say things in Portuguese, you know what I mean? And to kind of, show them that like, hey, you've been here long enough. We're going to learn together. And, you learn a couple things on how to say things like, tomorrow, tomorrow we'll laminate. And all they have to say is mañana. And they know, okay, this is for tomorrow. You know what I mean? And don't have to say much, but they pick up on certain things and they're like, oh, what's that mean? And they start using it. And it's nice because you know what? When you can speak someone's language and dude, when you're talking to a fucking salesperson and they don't have a clue when you're saying, hey, I need a vector file, and they're like, what the fuck is vector?
Right.
It's like gibberish to them. But when you're talking to a designer and you say, hey man, I need this in a vector format, it needs to be edible, they're like, yeah, I got you. I'll send you what you need. It's easy. It flows. It's nice, and when you got dynamics like that in a shop, woo, tempers could flare quickly. Things could be miscommunicated. And, it's nice when the wheels are turning and everything's lubed and ready to go. But, when you throw a wrench in the mix, stay out of the way.
That right?
Oh my God. It's like watching a train wreck. It's like, when is this fucking thing gonna stop? And it keeps going. You're like, oh my God, somebody's gonna go home. I already know somebody's gonna go home. It's crazy, How many people do you have total working at your place? You gotta have a lot for 10,000 square feet, man.
No, believe it or not, we only have 6 at the current moment, so.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh, I hope that 10,000 square feet is full of equipment.
It is, and it stays, all the bays stay full all the time.
Yeah.
So it's, we have our guys up front and our lady up front that takes care of our shirts and things, and a technician in the back and myself. So but we all work, as like you say, a well-oiled machine,
Mm-hmm.
We all kind of work together if we all need to. Everybody kind of knows each other's job, so that helps too.
Yeah, just in case somebody's out and you have to kind of pick up the pieces if they called out, sick and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So like, my supervisor and, his wife, who's just also the lady that takes care of our shirts and, our apparel. Mm-hmm. They were gone for an entire week. So I'm left with 2 guys up front and myself. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, that says it all.
The boss is gone. Yeah,
cats are out to play.
Yeah, man, it's just like, all right, so what are we doing? Yeah, I was busy. I stayed busy, but that's a consistency thing. And they chill up front. Sit at the sales desk, watch TV, answer the phone.
Yeah,
it's just like, all right, this is going to bite us in the butt when the boss man comes back.
yeah, probably. But as long as your work's done, everybody's making money, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys have automatic presses for your t-shirt side of the company?
They're not automatic; they're manual. So it's all non-state of the art. Yeah, exactly.
Fucking dinosaur stuff,
right? Yeah,
still clicking rocks back there, and making fires with sticks.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think they all have like nicknames. It's like one's like Old Lore. She's been here forever. It's just like, yeah. It's like, it's got a lot of dust build up on old girl. Maybe you should freshen her up or something.
Yeah, we'll blow her off. She'll be fine.
Yeah,
she'll give us a couple more years.
Yeah,
that's so funny. That is so funny. And how about you guys do embroidery too, right?
No, we'll sub that out.
Yeah.
We we've been in talks about getting one of those nicer ones. It's, they're expensive. They are extremely expensive. You know, it's much like me wanting a flatbed, you know, which one's going to make more money at this point, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like embroidery is very seasonal where we're at. And, you know, as flatbeds, it's not seasonal. You know, you're not just doing politician signs. We have a constant flow of, you know, yard signage or, you know, max metal signs or, you know, stuff that can make us, easy profits.
Yeah. Yeah. It's skipping a few steps to get to the end product. I think if, you know, the initial cost of a flatbed, yes, it can be overwhelming, but in the period of, I don't know, let's just say 3 years would pay itself off, so to say. I mean, I don't even know what they go for, so I'm really just talking out of my ass, but, I would assume, you know, within 3 years, and it really depends on your volume. You could probably make that money back in a year. Depends on you know, your demographic and your service base. What does it mostly consist of? You know?
Right. Yeah. So it's, I think one of my competitors up the road, he has a huge contract with Coca-Cola. So he's got 3 flatbeds and they're constantly churning out. And then, you know, we have an Anheuser-Busch distribution center. They have their own flatbeds. So they're constantly churning out things. Yeah. Huge ones. It's a beautiful sight if you ever walk into one of those departments there. But, you know, the work that we have and that we put out, you know, we do a lot of buses too. Mm-hmm. That's probably more than our municipality stuff. It's probably 80% of what we carry. So bus wraps, it's all small, short buses. Sometimes we'll get the longer buses, but, you know, if we have like spot graphics or something on that, I know some of those machines are pretty well rounded. They print, some of them cut, you know, and they're faster turnaround, you know. Hey, we have a lot of development going on around here, and hopefully, you know, that would contribute too, because they all need window signage, storefront signage, or, you know,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I see the need for it. I think obviously, you know, you have to have, a good location for it, because it isn't just, you know, something you can roll on wheels and run through a door, you know. It's something you gotta blow a whole wall out of in order to get in your shop, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy that Anheuser-Busch, I didn't even know they had their own. We have one, I want to say it's Anheuser-Busch distribution center here. I wonder if they have one as well.
It's a possibility. One of our printer techs that comes by, he pretty much services the entire state, and you know, when he comes in, I always want to get the spill on, you know, who has what, or, you know, what's new, you know. It's like that's my number one thing with him when he walks through the door, and he's always very happy to help, you know. Sometimes they don't like, you know, exposing that information for whatever, but it's like, yeah, he'll tell me a little bit here and there, and it's like, yeah, all right, that's what I want to do, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you know, they're doing this, and I feel like he's more well up to date on things than I am as far as printers and things go, so I'll learn as much as I can from him.
Yeah, it's always good, you know, if they're willing to offer some info, why not? Just to see where the curve's going, you know. If somebody's investing a good amount of money into a specific product, it might be something that you might want to get into as well at the end of the day, because of the fact that maybe they see a tide turning into a specific fad, or they see a lot of signage coming out. So, you know, might as well get ahead of it and be able to be cost effective. Might be a big nut all up front, but long term, you're saving yourself one person on printing and laminating. Now you're directly printing on the product, and it's a pretty quick turnaround time, so
Yeah.
to have that all in house, man, it's huge. But again, it just goes to like, you gotta have the money for that. I don't even know what something like that would cost. I'd have to look it up. Now I'm eager to see what a flatbed, printer would cost. And do a little research right now while we're here recording. HP. What did Chris have? An HP 1000? What was it?
His was a R1000.
R1000. Let's see what one of these suckers cost right here. HP R1000. Okay. So this thing is massive. Holy shit, this thing is massive. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. All right. 3-liter cartridges. Jesus Christ. Just looking at them on the side of the thing is like insane.
Right.
It's insane. Let's write price. Didn't give me the price, just gave me the specs. Again. Okay, let's do this. Come on, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Holy shit. Okay, do you know what they cost?
Like 148, 149 or something like that?
$159.99. No, $159,999. 999.
Oh man. Man, just pull out the checkbook and
just pull out the checkbook. Holy shit! Man. Put that on the Amex. You know what I mean? Get them fucking points.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many signs you gotta fucking make? And here's the fucking kicker, right? They have it priced. This is on. This is a fucking plug right here, and you're welcome. It supplies. IT supplies. There's a fucking savings on it. Okay?
Oh.
Guess how much the savings it says. I don't know. Alright, yeah, okay. So the red price is a savings price. Fucking, you know what the regular price, if you were to buy it?
Oh, yeah, I probably don't want to know.
$200,000.
Wow, man.
199.
Turn some business out.
Oh, dude, what? Almost a quarter of a mil? Almost a quarter of a mil for a machine? Holy shit. Wow. I gotta say, it's a pretty machine.
It's pretty.
It is a fucking pretty machine, I'll tell you. And this one's the Plus, R1000 Plus printer. It's probably because of it's got the extended tables is the Plus. Wow, that thing's pretty. It's got a full screen. It's got to be like, 18-inch screen? Something like that? 24-inch screen on it? Just built in? Wow, that's a nice piece of machinery.
Oh, I bet. Does it make coffee for you? Like, does it have like a drink dispenser on the side? Yeah.
Better be doing more than making fucking coffee for $200,000. Holy shit. Wow. I gotta say that the thing is, it's a gorgeous machine, and I think that it serves, it would serve whoever needs it well. You know, getting the print on those substrates, getting the print on acrylics, you open up your gamut of services, extremely large gamut of services, having this machine in your shop. But, damn, for $200,000, oh my God, how many HP 360s can you get for $300,000? $200,000? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I could fill my production room up fairly easy with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with printing on vinyl and applying it over printing directly to it for $200,000. Wow, that's. I wonder what your payments would be a month for something like that.
Oh no, yeah, like
a couple grand.
Easy.
Yeah. Two grand, 2,500 a month for the next fucking 6 years. With interest.
Yeah.
With interest, people. Interest.
Sign your life away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I mean, don't get me wrong. This machine is going to be able to do a lot for you. You're able to do a lot. And for what Chris says, it actually is a lot faster when you use just the print roll to roll feature. He had mentioned that it, you know, a 6-hour job, I think it was. He did it in 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like what, 12 passes is actually 3 passes or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, you know, and you can still laminate it as soon as it's done.
Man,
I think it's worth it. I'm talking shit. Like I got 200, like I got 200K in the bank. Yeah. But I mean, that'd be an easy sell to somebody that does a lot of signage. I would say you're skipping 2 extra steps and, directly mounting it to, you know, directly printing onto the substrate. Great product, man.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even want to know what the electricity bill would be to run something like that. Cause there's no way that's running on a regular plug. That's gotta be like a 240 or 220 plug. It's gotta have its own dedicated probably breaker for it, which in turn you'd have to pay money for an electrician to come in and set that up as well. Yeah. Wow. Mind blown right now. Woo.
Yeah, definitely.
200K. Woo. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
man, you don't need that home anymore. You can just sell it and buy one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, you know, save the box, you know, cause you might be living in it for a little while. But wow, I didn't think they were that much money. I'm literally mind blown. I want to learn more about them.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know, like, they set these things up at the trade shows, which is like crazy. Like 200,000, they got like 3-4 of them. They got $500,000 worth of fucking printers just sitting around that you just had shipped. Like, that's crazy. That is just insane. And they have an R2000. Oh my God. I don't even want to know what the hell that one cost.
Wow.
5 liters of, oh my God. Wow. I am like literally mind blown. This has turned into like not even a conversation, and I apologize, in advance. But I am like literally in awe on how much this thing costs. That's amazing. That's amazing. Ooh.
Oh, I can imagine, you know, and they're probably just printing on like thick substrates, you know, all these little things you see on Etsy, like, you know, live, laugh, and love, you know,
yeah.
It's probably 10 million of those things they're like shipping out. You know, that's exactly what that gets used for.
If that's what makes you, not default on your payments, so be it.
Right.
a lot of eBay knickknacks and trying to sell it and that's, yeah. Holy shit. That's insane. Wow. I have been literally like mind blown right now. I thought an HP 570 was expensive. The 570s. We've got 2 of them at the shop, and I thought they were expensive. They're like what, 28 grand, something like that. And I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of money. And you know, one of our Epsons is really giving us some trouble, and you know, debating on going back to Epson and buying a newer model or buying another HP. And Epson's been great. The HP's been finicky when there's a lot of reprints. The color's never right. It drives me nuts. just because it really depends on if you printed it in the morning or if it's your last print during the day. The print, the heads have been warmed up and used throughout the day. Really will justify what your color is going to come out like. And I feel like that's got to be something that needs to be kind of, I don't want to say regulated, but kind of looked into on how to fix and troubleshoot something like that through HP. Have you ever had that happen where you had to reprint a panel and it's like shade too dark or shade too light?
Yes, it's a pain in the ass, really it is. And I really try to do my due diligence to get something matched as best as I can. Just because I feel like if it was my fault, I'll try to make it right. But, I always set an expectation up front, like, hey, things change and there are, certain circumstances that, cannot be helped. But, it's, along with Flexi, there's a lot of settings in there. There's a lot of changes you can make. And, luckily I've done well with that, but yeah, there are always definitely changes. Our mother company that we have, is called IBOW Print, and they do a lot of college, kiosks, like paper kiosks. Yeah. And, we'll print these college panels off, and it's, we'll do one run of like UCLA, and the next thing we know, there's another run of those. I'm like, the color's a little off, and it's not really, it's like, this really is not supposed to change, but it is. And, it can be one of those drawn out processes where we just, I call our tech and he comes out, I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. So
I think that's the one probably downfall of the HP. It's the consistency of color.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably got something to do with the water-based pigments in the inks now. It's definitely got to be something to do with that, Yeah,
it's like getting the grays down, or, certain colors they do not do well with at all, but it's like if you spend enough time devote enough time to this thing, you might can figure it out.
Yeah, might.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So is that what you use for your rip software? Is the Flexi, you use that to rip and cut and everything?
Yeah, we have a Flexi for that. And then I have an add-on program for our cutter. We have it's a FC 8600 160 or something like that. It's huge. It's a massive cutter. And then our Roland is a printer cutter. So
nice. How good is a print cut on the Roland?
Well, she's an old girl, so she's a little rough sometimes.
She's a little off. After 6 feet or so, gets a little wonky.
Yeah, man. It's so like you gotta pet her and kind of, give her a little love, and maybe she'll be good to you, but it's not always.
You gotta watch her is the problem. You gotta watch while she's working. You know what I mean? As soon as you look away, it's either the shit hits the floor and gets jammed up, or, she's like, oh wait, he's out of the room. Let's just skew this just a little bit for him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I almost feel like the machines have a mind of their own. They almost know when you walk out of the room and they're going to mess something up, or you walk out of the room and then you hear the machine beeping and you're like, dude, I just left. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What happened between walking 10 feet, Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a mind of their own, I swear. Soon, I think we'll be, talking to the machines, like Alexa, the way we talk to us. It's like, hey, HP, print, Joe Schmo's job. You know what I mean? It'll just know to print it. Imagine.
Oh yeah. I can hear it now. Printer, print my panels.
Yeah.
Okay. Print them the same color as the last job.
Yeah. Fuck you.
No.
I'm not doing that. Good luck with that, master.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Yeah. That's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Let's focus on one thing first, getting that color right before we add any more features.
Right. Yeah, let's get this down first before we get all the fanciness.
Oh shit, man. Oh, it's crazy. Do you think that the wave, the future is into, less manual, the manual side of things and more just kind of like, I don't want to say virtual, but, more or less hands-on with the machinery and more just, it's going to do its own thing. You just tell it what to do and it'll just do it. Where do you think it's going to go?
It'll definitely be very automated. I foresee it being that way. Probably the not too far off future, but it's going to be one of those things that I feel like we'll literally just be able to like plug in something and size it and it'll just take off and, it'll be an end product for us to either put on and, I think it's going to kind of surpass some expectations for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. See what happens where it's just going to get easier. I think for, a lot of us that have been in the industry for so long, I think it's going to be a lot easier for us because, even the technology and the materials has become easier for us as installers to apply this material to the cars and, the color staying, the stretchability of the material, in all aspects, it's just, I think it's going to be, a mix of that with technology in the printer side. I think they're going to merge a little bit and make something great. I mean, I don't know what could possibly happen, but I can't wait to see. I hope it doesn't cost $200,000. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, I know, right?
It's printers are just starting to go down a little bit, from when they were, I don't know, early 2000s. There was so much money back then.
A lot.
And now for a reasonable cost, reasonable cost to like a car, an average car is around $30,000. You can buy a printer for $30,000, but at least the $30,000 will get you a little residual back, over a car unless it's wrapped.
Right.
Ba-boing. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm real eager to see, because I feel like the gap is getting closer. It's not like every 10 years we see something crazy or every 5. I feel like almost every year or every other year there's something like drastic changes, and we kind of have to move with it, because if not, you get lost in the dust and then game over,
That's it.
But I want to ask you too, we haven't talked too much about installs and we talked a little bit about training. What, thinking back, what do you think the hardest install you ever had to deal with?
The hardest, I know exactly what it was. It was a 2004 Ford Expedition. It had some big bulky panels. And I think what made it hard was the fact that I basically installed the whole thing with IJ35.
35?
Right.
Wait,
yeah.
Was that oh, I forgot to put the wrong film in, or?
No, this was a total just shit on the installer deal. It was I think it was a radio,
station?
Yeah, radio station. Yeah. And the owner had basically just like traded out some airtime. And I think he got the raw end of the deal, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to buy this cheap roll of IJ35 and I'm going to have old Mike over here put this thing on. It probably took me the longest I've ever taken to install something. It took me almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks working like 8:30 to 5. And it's just like around every corner, it was something different. It was just like, it was unreal. Something would lift up. It wouldn't stay. It was an unreal amount of primer.
Oh.
It was
amateur,
like,
amateur hour.
Yeah, man. It was just like, I can make this happen, but this is going to take a minute, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was a thick laminate too. And it was unreal. It was just double time on the heating, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare install. And I saw it a few years later, believe it or not, and those things get abused. And, it really only had a few bad spots on it. And I was just like, wow, I'm impressed, but I don't ever want to touch this vehicle again.
Yeah. Not even for the removal. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I told him y'all probably should just burn this thing to the ground.
Just run it all the way to the ground. Let this thing burn.
Yeah,
done.
Exactly.
Oh my God. An Expedition isn't that bad. Pretty flat panels, other than maybe did it have a big body molding on the doors and all that shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was just around the bottom part there that was really so bad. But, you know, at the time, I think it was just a mixture of the material that made it, you know, that wasn't intended for that, you know, that made it so bad.
I've heard people using, I don't know if it was IJ35 on like trailers, like flat panels. Yeah,
no complex curves or, you know, maybe rivets, but that's about it.
Yeah, they always kind of pop anyways. They never settle, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, some look better than others, but I don't know. I don't think I would cheapen out on the material because it was a flat panel. I think I'd still use the good shit. Just because, I don't know, it's just the ease of the install. I think you can still, you'd be surprised on a flat panel, you almost overthink it. You're like, oh, this is easy. I'm just going to grab a 6-inch squeegee, a nice buffer, and fucking go to town. But then you get a wrinkle and you're like, oh fuck, wait a minute. And then, like, how the fuck you get a wrinkle on a flat panel? You know what I mean? And then you start second guessing yourself. And then, you know, the wheels start turning and you're like, damn. But then, I don't know. I don't think I could ever cheapen out on material. I'd still use the good shit. To save what? What are you saving? $1? Maybe?
Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly.
Please. Ugh. That's crazy. But there's still countries and people that still apply calendared film as a wrap. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few of those. Like, I'm impressed by all means, and I feel like I'm a well-seasoned enough installer that I could probably do some of it, but some of those guys, they really impress me about what they do with that film, that type film.
Yeah, like Gemus in Brazil. I mean, they don't really have a lot of like good films there, so it's still like calendared, and they're wrapping these things like it's cast. It's insane. It's the technique's a little different, you know, the way you install it is a little different, but they get around these complex curves. They're wrapping bumpers and not, you know, breaking a sweat. You know what I mean? They find a way. It's crazy. I don't think I think, you know, old school wrappers where they were wrapping with calendared films and non-egress films, the air release, you know, when none of that technology and they were wrapping, that 100% made them better wrappers now. 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Like it's a no-brainer. If you were wrapping back then with no air release technology and no real, you know, stretchability because of the cast, like, oh my God. You know, you leave a little bit of the backing paper on it. You know what I mean? You don't pull the skirt off of the thing yet. You keep a little bit on, you know what I mean? Do a little piece by piece, you know? It's the way you gotta do it, unfortunately, you know, but, oh my God, I don't even wanna, it's insane. Like all tack material. I'd love to get all tack here in the States and try it.
Yeah. I mean, like their hold and mold, like I've played with that a lot recently. It's, I'm like, man, this must be a decent vinyl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It holds the shit, don't it?
Right? Yeah.
I would say if you get it in good enough, I think it's, you know, the likelihood of a failure happening is probably really, really low. Really, really low. God, we see failures with cast all the time. Look at the Rap Police putting this stuff up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And we've got good stuff going and there's still failures. So, you know, one half dozen the other, I guess. But wow. IJ35, huh? Wow. I think I had a hard time applying IJ35 to just flat signs. I'd use that for like my intermediate vinyl, my throwaway stuff, yard signs and little tiny yard, you know, small signs for like walls and shit. I'd have a hard time installing that by myself. Never mind wrapping a car. Whew.
Oh yeah. I had one sign shop. The guy had priced the cost of the job so low. I really don't know what happened with that, but you know, I made my money, of course, but you know, he was sweating it like terribly bad and I felt bad for the guy and he was like a fresh startup, didn't really know what was going on. Obviously he knew how to operate equipment, but zero on the install. And, you know, I think everybody's allotted with, you know, one give me. And that for him was, I think I told him to print a job with IJ35 for a trailer, no laminate, installed it in the dead of winter, no heat. And I think I like wet applied the whole trailer, which wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, he says.
It wasn't bad. Like I was impressed. Like his placement was off, but like the customer shows up the very next day. It took me forever, you know, and they show, oh, this is beautiful. And I'm just like, do not say anything about the fading.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, it's still out there. And surprisingly, it's been like, going on 4 years and it still looked good. I was like, man, I don't even remember what he was printing with. I think it was a Muto or something.
Wow. Surprised.
I was like, man, the ink has really done well for that thing.
Wow. Did you have to transfer paper it? Or did you just like peel instead?
It was raw dog, baby.
Wow.
It was interesting. I think what helped me the most is that it was cold. But, you know, it took a little bit longer, you know, with the old school wet apply with it, you know, it didn't affect the adhesive at all. It was good. It was good.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. Yeah. They always tell you like with the air release, never put it on wet. Like that technology, but oh shit. No laminate, no nothing. Wow. Oh, woo.
Yeah.
Gives me the chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, man, you do some risky stuff sometimes, but in the end, I think, you know, I don't know that we put enough trust in some of these materials and inks and, you know, it's like the cast vinyl, you know, in South America, you don't think that it would hold up, but it does. And it's like some of our stuff, it does too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it, you know, the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? When you you know, go against the grain, you know, and really put the time and effort into the R&D for the materials, just because they tell you, hey, it's this, and this, doesn't mean it's really just that. Like, this is why you have people printing on, Supreme wrap films. This is why they have people printing on 1080 now, they told you that, hey, this isn't for printing on, but you can,
Yeah.
Mind you, it's only on the matte shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you print on the gloss, it's going to look like caca, but, the matte will, you find your temperature, you find your passes, and you can get a pretty good goddamn print out of that, It's not bad.
Yeah. No, not at all. I did my first print on like color change.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in like March or something. It's the very first time ever attempting it, just cause I always thought, it wouldn't hold up, but it was gloss cinder red 3M. I printed a black fade on it. The guy brought his own fade, custom color fade and everything that he wanted me to do it on, set the file up, and I printed it and laminated it with the 3M Envision. And man, I was blown away. I was like, man, I should really do more of this.
How long did it take you to figure out the color profile to make sure it printed correctly?
It took probably 2 sample runs to get it just right. Yeah. The heat temperature, I think I ran it at like 190. And the color profile, I just ran it as like a generic, I think I ran it under like journal formulations or something. Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, man. And I was impressed. I was like, wow, okay. Like, but none of the like metallic came through.
Right.
Through the ink, obviously. But the fade was beautiful. Yeah, and then with the laminate on it, I was like, well, it should be somewhat preserved.
Yeah, it has to be.
So.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think there's a paint job that would look better, It was great.
Wow. You obviously installed it, right?
Yeah. It took me probably about 10 hours breaking it down, cleaning it up, and installing it, and sending it out the door. And I mean, it's just a 370Z. It was just like a 2-door coupe, so it wasn't very big.
Yeah. What do you think? What was it hard to install with the thicker material now?
It was. It's definitely takes a little bit extra, but sometimes the thickness helps. Especially in some of the guys in Florida, they'll tell you humidity kills, but I mean, in Alabama, it's not so bad. And then with the thickness of it, it helps. I feel like sometimes
gives you a little extra kind of, I don't know, almost like, I think for me, I rather install in a way cooler temp than I would like a hotter temp. Just because I got a little bit more give. If it gets soupy on me, then I'm screwed. You know what I mean? But if it's got a little bit more rigidity to it, I don't mind, taking a little extra care and squeegeeing a little bit harder on it to get it down,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like you can abuse it just a little bit more. And I hate to use the term, but abuse vinyl, but you really can. I mean, this stuff is made to be heated up and repositioned, and, at a cooler temp, you can do that. You have that, ability.
Flexibility. Yeah. No.
Absolutely. And,
are you a heat gun or a torch guy?
I'm a torch guy.
Yeah.
But like certain vinyls like Vivid, if I'm playing with that at all, I'm low heat, low as it can go, and it's I won't go about it that way. But any other time, it's a torch.
Yeah. Wow.
And I don't use my torch a lot. I really don't. I try to glass my vinyl and lay it down, and not a lot of stretch, not a lot of pull if it's not necessary. So that way, I'll get this thing to last as long as possible.
Right. And the color always lasts a lot better. You know what I mean? A lot longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that HP pigment, it don't take much. It can stretch, and it just, you feel it fade.
Yeah, you get that white line or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit mine with the squeegee today by accident. Luckily, it was in door jamb, but I caught my squeegee on the corner. I've got the what are they? The large wing tip
Right.
squeegees, you know?
Yeah.
And the fucking, the tip of it caught the corner inside the gap, and it turned it white. I was like, ooh.
Oh, nice.
I was like, damn, thank God it wasn't on like a place where people are going to see it, you know?
Right. You're like, hey, we can hide this.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? It was like all of nothing. Like I hardly even put pressure on it, and it like instantly like turned white on me right where the tip of the squeegee hit it, and I kind of pushed it in. It quick. And even when after I heated it to see if I could get the color back, fucking nope, wasn't gonna happen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, didn't even want to come back to me. It's fucking gone forever. Damn it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So do you use like felt strips, or what brand do you use?
I use the banana strips, the banana buffers.
Okay.
I like those a lot. Even though they're kind of mostly made for wet apply, I still use them day in and day out. I just actually I have a package of the blue monkey strips.
That's what I use. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually just purchased the 25 feet of monkey tails, I think they call it. It's in the roll.
Right, yeah.
I bought those because obviously I can't use the other ones for my large wingtip squeegees because they're a little bit longer. But I really like those. I mean, I run the banana strips like probably primarily on all my squeegees, because I usually carry all three styles in my bag. You know, a soft, a medium, and a hard one.
Yeah.
And they all have it. And typically I've got like a medium, I think it's the yellow or the lime, whatever, wingtip squeegee. And then I got like a 3M one, a gold one. And then I got a Teflon one. So I'm kind of covered on all bases. For any type of install, if I'm up on a ladder, I'm good to go, you know?
Yeah.
But those are you use the monkey strips, the blue ones?
Yeah. Yeah. I use those. I've been thinking about using those banana strips, and I think here a few weeks ago I bought some PID strips.
Mm-hmm.
They're real plush, so I'm not really hesitant on using them. I just want to find the right thing to use them on. So,
yeah.
But they're awesome.
Yeah.
They seem like they're a really good product. So.
Yeah. Definitely great products. There's so much out there. That's the thing. That's the beauty of it. And, you know, when you find a product that you kind of set on, you kind of just stick with that. And, you know, I've been using the banana strips, the banana buffers for probably, I don't know, maybe like a year now, give or take.
Nice.
Yeah. I think, you know, actually when I got turned on to them, I wasn't aware of them at the time, but it goes back to when I was doing my 1,000K giveaway. When I did the wrap glove box with all the goodies in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was turned on to them. They came through and gave me a bunch of packages, and they gave me a couple of banana buffers in like a Ziploc bag, and I'm like, oh, I'll use these ones for my personal use and try them out. You know, I'd hate to give somebody, you know, all of them without even knowing if they're good or not. So, I did a couple cars and I was like, holy shit, this is, you know, going from, geek wrap squeegees to a buffer. It's a big change because one, it's cost effective, you know, for the change out a buffer over buying a brand new squeegee. Huge, you know, $14 squeegee and then a $1 buffer. I mean, my squeegee's still good. It's just a fucking buffer that's gone, you know? So, shit, save money on that, you know? I like saving money. I don't know about you. Try to save up for that fucking flatbed. You know what I mean?
Right. Every little cent counts.
You know it. Holy shit. Yeah.
The next thing you know, I'll be taking these strips off and washing them in the washer and dryer and try to put it back on.
Reusables.
Yeah.
Give it time, dude. It will happen. Give it time. It will happen. It's all good. What do you use for for blades and stuff? You using 30 degree? You using 58 degree?
I use the not the Alpha. It's like a 45 degree tip.
Yeah. 45.
Yeah, just stainless steel blades.
Nice.
I've messed around with different blades, but it's kind of one of those things for me. It's old habits die hard. I've been around a lot of window tinners, so it's I kind of got in the habit of just using the stainless steel blades.
Right. I think a game changer for you, man, is that NT cutter. The plastic ones. Woo.
Really?
I've got the yellow one, and I actually just purchased the gray one, which gives me that 45 to 58 degree blade in it. And it holds five blades in the cartridge, so you're never out. You never have to kind of just take the whole thing apart just to put one more stack of blades in it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could definitely find myself using something like that.
Oh, dude, check it out on Amazon, dude. You'll find it. They're like $9. Get yourself a nice yellow one. The yellow ones you can actually put the 45 degree blades in as well.
Really?
I just wanted the gray one so I can identify my 30 degree and my 58 degree blades apart. If I wanted to get intricate, I'll whip out the yellow one for the 30 degree for the more intricate cuts. And then for the quick kind of gap cuts or, even like a blade drag or, or a cut and drop, I'll use the 58 degree. You know what it is? It's the 30 degree. You gotta find that, and I just posted this a while ago, like 2 weeks ago, on what people are using. And it was almost 50-50 as far as what people were using for blades. But, it's been so long since I used a 45, 58 degree blade. And it's the pressure that you apply to the blade is so much less than a 30 degree blade to get a cut. It is because the angle's steeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I find myself cutting way better with a 58 degree blade than I do with a 30. And I've been using a 30 for a couple years now. And I literally just switched 3 weeks ago. And I'm in awe. My cuts are way better now with the 58.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually order some of those now just because I want to try that. It's one thing to put so much pressure with one than it is the other. That I've gotten pretty good with the pressure that I put on my blade. I know, especially with the thickness of the material, exactly how much pressure to put, and it's one of those things. But whatever makes the job easier, I'm definitely for that.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is. You get through a cut and then you're ripping the vinyl off. Then you get that little piece of white left. You know what I mean? Because you didn't cut all the way through, and it's now you're cutting that. Oh my God. That's it's literally cutting a hair. You know what I mean?
It's I don't, can this be done?
Yeah.
Maybe. We're going to try.
Yeah, we're going to try, all right. Oh yeah. But yeah, I got the gray one because the gray blade or the gray cartridge is specifically for the 45 to 58. So, identifying the two is good for me, but I find myself pulling out the 58 degree blade way more often than my 30 now, which is nice. But try it out. And the plastic casing is good for like when you have, that rubbing up against a car when you're blade dragging. It's got a good little kind of like lip on it. So if you get the perfect blade drag with the pressure in and, the cartridge right up against that top lip, oh man, it's like butter. And you're not scratching the vinyl because it's a plastic case. It's way easier than the awful ones.
Yeah, it can be a little, I wrap mine just so I can distinguish, hey, this is the old one, this is the new one,
Yep.
I've got so much blade in this one, and
Yep.
yeah, and I don't like the metal, I don't like the exposed metal, so I just wrap it, but yeah, that's actually a way better idea. I like that.
Yeah, and the ease of having five blades in there, all you gotta do is just click the thing all the way up, pull the old blade out, click it all the way back down, and it picks up a new blade for you. It's kind of
that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful, dude.
Right? God, how many times a day you switching out your blades?
Too many.
I went through 5 today, 5 full blades, and I didn't have to take it apart once.
Yeah, I mean, you can spend a fair amount of time just doing that.
Oh,
yeah.
How many times you cut yourself? You're playing with the blade now. You know what I mean? You're taking it in, taking it out, putting it in. And it's just, the blade's already in there. You're good to go. You pull the other one out, put it in your, safety box, and that's it.
Yeah.
Did you have a safety box? A blade box?
Yeah. Yep. I have a snap box. I actually keep like 3 in one pouch. Yeah, it's cause they fill up so quick, they're just small ones, but I've been thinking about getting one of those like blade cage type deals.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than using like a Coke bottle or Gatorade bottle that I've seen some guys use, Yeah. You're like, how many blades are in that 1 liter?
Yeah. Let's play a game.
Yeah. Guess the blades.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, I
mean,
it's
scary.
It's nice to have as your dump. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You want to dump your small boxes into that and then dispose of it as one big unit, every couple months. Great. But to use that with you constantly, it's not good. If you tip it over, it's, all over the place, and it's just a hazard overall,
Very.
Yeah. I love tools. I could talk about tools all day. What's your favorite tool that other than a squeegee?
Ooh. So let's see. Image One Impact. I carry a lot of their tools.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the yellow tools. The little Sunny Tucker, I like it. But yeah, the little basically paper liner cutter that I use, I'll have like 2 of those, and I always keep them on my person. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
And then, I have some like tuck tools from Avery Dennison, just kind of like what I use. I'll use the red and the blue.
Cut the tips off.
Yeah.
The ends.
Yeah. My 3 squeegees I use 3. Well, I have 1 Teflon. I have the blue 3M and the gold 3M.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I use? I have that mold piece. It's a yellow tools. I forget the name of it. This orange is for pulling moldings back. I use it a lot on like windshields and storage glasses.
Oh, it's got the 90 on it, right?
Yeah.
The little hook. Yep.
Love that thing. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I don't get too technical with it. Now I'll shop all day. Like, I want that, window shop. But yeah, it's
Bare
I don't
essentials.
do a lot of it. Yeah, I don't do a lot of intricate work, so
Yeah.
it's, I keep it simple as best I can sometimes.
Nice. What type of pouch do you carry all your stuff on? Or in?
It's a Yellow Tools pouch.
Nice.
It's the big one that flips over, it's got your little name tag in the back.
Nice.
I think I started out with like a Lowe's or Home Depot special.
Yeah, a
It had
little
like a little
husky.
magnet. Yeah. I started out with that, and it was true to me for about a couple of years, 2-3 years, and I upgraded to that thing, and I haven't turned back. I love their stuff. It's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. I just got, I had a husky one for a while. Oh God, for 5-6 years. It did me well. Don't get me wrong. And then I upgraded to a new husky one. And, I just, like, I've got, you know what the problem is? You know what I find that the biggest disconnect is? There's no good place to put your freaking tape measure.
Right? Yeah.
This is like, it's either like right in the front and it's like falling out or falling down, or the clip never clips, or it's in the pouch and it's like in the mix of all the other shit that you're trying to like get to. It's kind of annoying. I had to buy a smaller, tape measure, like a little, I want to say it's 12 feet or something like that. 12 footer. Little metal one. And, God, I just didn't like the locations the stupid thing would be in. And, the one that I had didn't have a clip in the front of it, which kind of made me mad because I liked it there, but it would, if I was like down on my knees and like on my butt and like I got up, it would like hit the floor and then it would pop the tape measure out, and it just always pissed me off. I always had to pick something up. It was never like secure. And, I got the Yellow Tools one, and then that was similar issue with where do I put my tape measure? And then I was like, you know what? I'm like going with the smaller pouches, which had the clip, and it was like the ease of getting it off and on, cool, but I feel like everything falls out a lot more than staying in the pouch half the time. I ended up going and just buying like an Avery Dennison one. And it's like, it's a lot. It's probably double the size of what a regular pouch is, but I've never had to pick anything up off the floor. It's, even though it's bulkier, it doesn't have a clip. It's a whole like belt unit. I don't wear it on my side anymore. I wear it in front of me. So it's like both my hands can get to whatever I need to now. I almost feel like it's so much easier now. I put all my shit in there and everything's got a place. Doesn't fall out. Nothing. It's kind of crazy. How like I went from like a minimalist kind of setup to now a little bit bigger, and I have no problem putting whatever I need in there, which I almost feel like I don't have enough. So many pockets in the goddamn thing. I want to fill everything all up, but I know, I usually set it up in the morning depending on what I got going on. If I got a color change, I'm going to have a lot more tuck tools in there. If I got commercial, it's going to be super light. It's really almost nothing in it. But man, I forget how much it was. I bought it at Fellers, maybe $30, maybe $30, $32, something like that. But, it converted me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it makes sense because, it's like some tent guys, they'll have like an apron pouch in front,
Yeah.
and they kind of keep all their tools there. That really makes sense. I never really thought about that. I'm so used to having it on my side. That would probably be a almost better fit to have it in front. And, as long as I wouldn't like lean on anything, I guess that would be the only setback, but that'd be great. Yeah.
You almost find yourself not leaning on stuff. Like I was debating on it. I'm like, I'm going to wear it on my side, but I'm like, whoa, this thing's huge. I can't wear it on the side. I got to have it more towards the front. Like it almost is like over my pocket and like in the middle of my body. You know what I mean? It's leaned a little bit more, but like I have the access to get it in whichever hand I want. And half the time my blade's in my hat, like the plastic blade. I usually just, cause I'm always pulling it out and it's just easier. I always wear my hat. So I always like just put it right inside my hat. So whenever I need a blade, I just pull it out, boom, cut it, put it back in my hat. Like it's just, it is what it is. But the squeegee is either in my hand or in my mouth, as a normal rap person would have it. I mean, there's no other place to put it. Why would you put it back in the pouch? It's just easier to get it from your mouth. So, but yeah, it's definitely, you know, whoever's listening, if you're looking for a different setup, and yeah, it is a little bit pricier than a Husky, you know, $10, $12 pouch, but I'll tell you, it's the convenience of it, and it's not going to fall out because it's a full clip, it's a full belt, and you got to clip it. You know what I mean? It's not a little metal plastic clip that you just clip to your pants and then you can lose it. This thing ain't going nowhere, you know? So I kind of like that. It's converted me the last month or so. So it's good. It's good. I like your setup though. I like the minimalist style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you, you know what I was going to ask you is, do you use a Stabilo a lot or do you use, like a marker?
Grease pencils.
Grease pencils, yeah.
Yeah, the little blue ones. I always keep one of those and it never fails. It stays in my pouch. But like most things, I'll set something down. If I don't ever remember to put it in my pouch, I'll lose it. Yeah. So I have to keep like a pack of them.
Yeah, don't, quick tip is, don't really have those things directly in the sun.
No, not ever.
Those things will melt like chocolate in your bag.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I've gone through way too many, you know, nothing than pulling out a soggy pencil. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Not fun. Not fun. All right. I think we're going to wrap this up. What do you think? 2 hours and 40 minutes. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Man. It's been awesome.
It's been great, dude. It's been absolutely, amazing talking to you. Thank you for, you know, taking the time out of your day, man, after hours to, come and chat for a little while, shoot the shit and talk about the industry.
I've enjoyed it. Every bit of it.
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to touch on that maybe we didn't bring up?
You know, I don't think so. Yeah. I really don't. We've talked about so much, man. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, I almost forgot about some of the stuff we talked about. I've been taking notes as we talk, just so I have some type of reference to, you know, what we talked about an hour ago or whatnot. But, you know, these conversations go so many different ways on every episode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice not to have a regimen anymore.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
I know it is.
Oh, crazy. But, cool, man. So, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
I have an Instagram page, hashtag Rapper Mike, or they can reach me on my cell. Obviously, I think I have that listed there. I'm on Facebook. That's Rapper Mike. So that's just the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Now that's Rapper Mike, not Magic Mike. All right, folks.
Depends on the weekend.
Oh shit! I think I found my sneak peek Friday post right there. Magic Mike.
There you go. Nice.
Oh, shit, man. Oh man, this is why I love doing this, because at the end of the day, you know, we can poke fun and we can enjoy ourselves. And I don't think there's another industry where, you know, what we can do, you know, can be taken seriously as well as, you know, being comedic about what we do, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, folks. So don't forget, go follow Mr. Rapper Mike on Instagram. And now you're on Facebook and Instagram, correct?
That's it.
That's it. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time again, and I wish you well for the rest of 2019, brother.
You too, bro.
What's up, folks? Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thank you to everyone that tuned in, and thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to IBOW Training, offering a variety of training options such as training at your shop, group training classes nationwide, and even private design print profile training through remote login. Learn more about IBOW at ibowtraining.com. Thank you also to We Print Wraps, the industry's #1 source for wholesale printed wraps, offering free nationwide shipping across the U.S. and Canada on all orders over $500. And don't forget, exclusive listeners of this podcast save 5% on your next order when you use promo code all wrapped up at checkout. See why industry pros love them and visit WePrintWraps.com. Till next time, folks, that's a wrap.